Retro anime. How did we find it? How does it hold up? Unpacking the ins and outs of being an old school nerd and proving that 80s kids can't remember a damn thing right. These are the mindless midlife musings of the anime nerd.
Welcome to Mindless Midlife Musings of the Anime Nerd. I'm Rick, and I'm joined by the rest of our panel, Lynette, Brian, and Vic. Hello, everyone.
What's up, y'all?
Hello.
In today's episode, we muster our courage and join the fight against the Demon Plane as we discuss Devil Hunter Yohko. Devil Hunter Yohko is a 1991 original video animation created by Madhouse and produced by Toho. Each episode had different directors for the most part, so I won't break down all the staff for you. Suffice it to say, though, that there's some anime royalty in here. People who worked on things like Genesis Climber Mospeada, Berserk, Super Dimension Fortress Macross 2, Yu Yu Hakusho. People worked on a lot of big name stuff. Yohko was released in North America. Yeah, lots. I'm telling you, man, lots of stuff.
Madhouse was like a gateway studio for a bunch of people back then.
Without a doubt. Yohko was released in North America by AD Vision as their first ever release in December of 1992. It was later dubbed into English and re-released on DVD in 2002 and released as a Blu-ray box set in Japan in 2022. The story follows Yoko Mano, a regular girl making her way through high school until she learns that she is the 108th successor to a line of warriors charged with defending the Earth against demons. Eventually, she must fight her ultimate battle against the demons and protect humanity. So, an interesting thing about Yohko right out the gate is this was not 5 things, 6 episodes that you just picked up and you were done. These came out roughly a year apart each episode.
Pretty much.
So, the first one of these, and it honestly kind of shows, in the quality of the animation.
Mm-hmm.
But it starts off in 1990 with the initial release. And I'm going to say it now because this is going to be part of my thing, this is Buffy the Vampire Slayer in Japan. Basically what Devil Hunter Yohko is.
With a sprinkle of Sailor Moon.
With a sprinkle, just a little sprinkle of Sailor Moon on there.
Yep, when you have a magical style transformation.
Yeah, that's right. So episode 1 starts out, Yoko's just a normal teenage high school girl dreaming about a local hot guy until surprise tentacle porn. But it was all a dream. And she wakes up to being assaulted by her grandmother. Her grandmother's a psychopath.
Which is a completely different tentacle porn.
It's a completely different kind. Grandmother thinks her daughter's a slut, but is dedicated to protecting the virtue of her granddaughter, Yohko.
At least until she turns 16.
At least it's right.
Right.
It's very slapsticky at first. The mother and the grandmother and the mother have a duel over breakfast. It's kind of a silly little thing. Her mom is extremely eager for her daughter to lose her virginity for some reason, way more than any parent of a 15-year-old girl should be. But
6-year-old person, 15-year-old person, because it's not like our parents were like, "Hey, you need to go ahead and lose that shit too."
Right, it's fast, absolutely. So, nevertheless, it's a silly little moment to just sort of introduce you to the characters and get the ball rolling.
15-year-old person.
15-year-old person. Yohko daydreams while her friend Chi, who is a lot of fun in her own right, gives their third wheel, Osamu, a show. Very fun. Osamu is thoroughly friend-zoned, so just get that out of your head. He's so friend-zoned, he never comes back after this episode. Yet, the episode starts with him seemingly as if he's a core member of the group. I was like, oh, this is Xander from Buffy. There's Xander.
Yeah.
No, he's not. He's friend-zoned.
For roughly 40-something minutes.
He's friend-zoned so hard, he never.
I think he had a red shirt.
He may as well have had a red shirt. This first anime in the series is the one to me that felt the most Madhouse, just because of the art style. There's the character Hideki who she's obsessed with, and I'm like, this guy looks like he's out of Wicked City. He looks like he's out of Vampire Hunter. He just looks like he's a Madhouse character. And same goes for the principal, who is undoubtedly
Evil.
a nod to their own Wicked City.
Oh, for sure.
And that comes back later, obviously. So the teacher, they realize they're late for school. The teacher is intense, to use to find a point on it. She's a little into the S&M, as the students call her out for. So she uses her powers to seduce and control Osamu, the friend zone kid, while Chi and Yohko are at the pool. And Yohko gets to experience a little more tentacle porn. I'm moving a little more rapidly than usual through this because there are 6 of these.
There's 6 of these, but
Technically
God.
5.
Technically 5. So Yohko experiences a little more tentacle porn as she falls into the pool and is assaulted. What I did like about this was that they were consistent with the attack. It wasn't one of those things like in some anime when a person gets attacked or their clothes like explode, which is a running theme in this anime for sure. Like, there's no physical damage to the human, just the clothes.
Mm-hmm.
But in this particular anime, there is damage to the person when the clothes get damaged. So Yohko is wounded in this attack from the tentacles as her bathing suit is shredded. So just, worth noting.
All right.
That's all. It was worth noting.
You guys are being very, very. How do y'all feel about this one?
About
I'm
the
just saying-
tentacle porn of a 15-year-old girl. I mean, I'm not a big fan.
Just property in general. I'm not asking for final thoughts. I'm just asking.
No, hey, look. I'll give you a brief thing. For me on this, it was better than I remembered it being, but it was also worse than I remember it being. Like, there's parts of it that I really liked, and there's parts of it that I was just like, sweet baby Jesus, what the fuck are we doing?
Okay.
And that's
all right.
So that's my overall. Now,
right.
I'll get more into what I did and didn't like for sure as we go on.
Okay. Vic, where you at on this?
I am totally neutral because here's the thing. If I have an issue with this, then technically you have to have an issue with every single hentai that we reviewed. Because despite the fact that in US they changed the age.
Yeah.
So, you sat there, you enjoyed La Blue Girl. La Blue Girl, she was 16.
Believe it or not, the hentai aspect of this is the least of my gripes.
The hentai aspect of it is really only this episode.
Right.
It's
and
really
it's
only
not-
episode 1.
And it's not that.
And it's not really, it's more Skinamax.
Oh, yeah.
Not
Yeah, without a
even
doubt.
Skinamax. Not even.
Yeah.
This feels like it's just hell. Feels like Weekend at Bernie's got a rated R rating.
It's there is admittedly some, it gets very close to straight up hentai in this epispisode,
And
particularly
this
with Osamu.
Yes.
Osamu gets himself a glow up, and
Zach Morris somehow.
right, he becomes Zach Morris somehow, and then all of a sudden the very shallow Yohko is giving him the time of day, and he's out of the friend zone.
Yeah.
And then he uses dark magic to put under her spell and proceeds to date rape her. But he doesn't get all the way. But he gets as close as anyone in high school has probably ever gotten. And until grandma drives a Harley through the fucking skylight. So
I just don't know how she got it up there.
Like I said, the hentai aspect of it is the least of my
look, it's magical sailor. It's a magical sailor girl fights demons. Like, this isn't highbrow. This isn't going to be Gunbuster. This isn't going to be Super Dimension Fortress Macross, and this isn't going to be Ranma. This isn't going to be the other side of it. This isn't going to be like a comedy that's through the roof hilarious. It's its own little microcosm of anime culture in the sense
absurdity.
of it's
Of
magic.
absurdity.
There you go. It's what this is. It's a high school girl fighting demons. Like, all right at the gate, we should have been like, what? But I mean, hey,
Welcome to the
Buffy
90s.
exists. Yeah, welcome to the 90s. Buffy exists. This is a thing. This is just a weird, pervy Japanese version. So,
Weird, pervy Japanese version. Okay, Lynette, what were your original thoughts? Final. Just
Equal opportunity minority events is what I'm going to say. Is because the girls weren't the only ones.
fair.
So
Fair.
it was like, it was that's what I went through, and I was like, you know what? If I can watch Sailor Moon and she has some pretty sketchy events too, and then they have the Sailor Stars. Don't even get me started on Sailor Stars.
I'll try
But
not to.
you know,
It is very much in that vein, right? I feel like that's probably the closest thing that you can really equate Devil Hunter Yohko to. Is it's like a slightly more pervy Sailor Moon. Like, it really
Mhm.
kind of is. Very much. I mean, the hair is even like a, you know what I mean? Like, anyway.
it toes the line of
Yeah.
when you get to that point when you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Then it goes, boop, nope, just kidding. We weren't gonna go there. And then
Right?
it goes up again, and it goes, no, just kidding. We're not gonna go there.
It's anime tease.
Yeah, I mean, like with the
Yeah.
principal scene, I was like, oh, what's happening? Okay.
Right?
Am I gonna see something? Nope, no, I'm not gonna see anything. This is the shower scene where it's just steamy. And
Just the
that's it.
steam. Yep.
You just get the steam. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I was able to look past that
Yeah.
because the other episodes just got weirder and funnier after
They-
that.
They
So
do that. They do that. And I really want to get to them because honestly, I don't feel like as much information and character setup episode 1 really is, I don't feel like it's the best of this at all.
No, it felt more like a pilot.
It really did, right? Stylistically, quality of animation, tone, like all of it felt like we're going to try this and see what sticks. And then when they decided to make more, they're like, well, let's pivot. These are the parts people liked. We're going to pivot into these. So yeah, grandma saves the day. She drives a Harley through the skylight and she saves her granddaughter from being day raped. As at this point, she decides maybe now it's important that I share this information about our line and what our responsibilities are as devil hunters, and tells her granddaughter that she's supposed to become the 108th devil hunter with a
Did that-
fucking bat cave.
yes,
A bat cave in their house. Just
So why did we ever find out why her mother never became 108?
oh yeah,
Oh,
because she's a
she-
slut.
yeah, she boned her dad before she turned 16.
Yeah, because her mom was a slut. Like that's what happened, and that's what the grandma says. I'm not even like I'm not even being a
No.
misogynist. The grandmother's like because she was a slut. Basically it.
Paraphrasing is like she banged your dad before she turned 16, so she kind of
Yeah.
just ruined that whole moment.
That's it.
Yeah,
It's all
Charlie got
over.
16 and be a devil hunter before the kids. She
Right.
kind of screwed it.
So anyway, so yeah, that's what happened. You got to be a virgin until you become a devil hunter. Then after that, it's open season on the vagina. It doesn't matter. You just gotta get to that. You got to get to the devil hunter threshold. And mom just she didn't do it. So
Honestly speaking, get to the devil hunter. Basically, to unlock your devil hunter powers,
Yeah,
you
you
got to be a
gotta
virgin
unlock-
till you're 16.
you gotta unlock the power, and then you become the devil hunter, and then you're fine. Then you can have a totally normal life, except for the devil hunting part of it. You can have a normal sex life after that. Yeah, it's that old, it's like the whole virgin
Well, and then she gets
sacrifice thing.
catfished, so it's really
Oh
bad.
man,
Really
yeah, so fucking great. I loved that so much. All right, so they have a bat cave in their house with a skylight, which was also interesting to me because if you have a bat cave that's super secret and your mom has never seen it, apparently she doesn't know what her house looks like from the outside, or that there's a window that randomly points to a room somewhere in the house that they don't. Anyway, I'm getting there's way too much detail for this kind of anime.
Right.
So the grandma does an info dump. By the way, the grandmother is the info dump queen. She info dumps for every episode
Oh, yeah.
in this series. She is the only source of actual information in this series. She info dumps, tells Yohko, hey, you're going to be the 108th. By the way, there's some kind of planetary alignment thing that's going to be happening, and the Demon Queen's going to resurrect soon. It's really important that we stop this Demon Queen thing from happening. And Yoko's like, I just want to meet a cute boy.
In one ear, right out the fucking other.
Right out the
Oh,
other.
yeah.
So honesty, in the 90s, that was par for the
For-
course for any teenager.
Oh
That
yeah.
was a teenage girl being told that they have to step up and not care about high school. Like, I mean, come on. Like, high school is the only thing that matters to teenage kids. It's so hard for us to remember as teenagers that how important high school was to us, because the second you leave high school, it's not important ever again, ever.
Yep.
and you never see these people again, and you never have to deal with this shit again. And the people that you hated, you never talk to them again. The people you love, sometimes you never talk to them again. Like, you never fucking see your principal again unless they're at Walmart. You never fucking run into these people. But when you're in high school, it's your whole fucking world.
You know,
So
I
to
can admit,
Yohko, it's your whole fucking world.
You have a point. I have never ran into my principal in the wild.
No.
Your principal could have been a long-fingered nail demon. You never know. So
Named Finger Blaster.
So what I don't know is, and I didn't write it down. They never named the principal, do they? Like, she's just
No,
the
it's called
principal.
I don't recall.
Yeah, I didn't think so either, because I didn't have a note for it. So the principal is the lead demon in charge. She's the one that tried to drown Yohko in the pool. She's the one that, is like doing this whole thing. So she is running this huge setup, and she sets Devil Hunter Yohko up to come visit the park. Anyway, it's a trap. Chi is all tied up, her buddy Chi, and Chi is also brainwashed. You find out because she turns on Yohko, tries to attack her. Yohko gets incapacitated. And it is at this point revealed the only two characters who look like Madhouse characters are the bad guys. So there's the hot guy, Hideki, who will be the meal, the first course in the Demon Queen's revival. Demon Queen being hot girl Reiko. And so Devil Hunter Yohko is saved by her grandmother. The grandmother, the principal, they do this grand battle, and the grandmother is mortally wounded. And this is where the Madhouse team really showed their colors, because the principal has like these long Wicked City fingernails and the whole attack. Like, it's straight out of the anime. Anyway, so the demon plane aligns and the doors to the school unlock, because that's how you get to the demon plane in my world.
It's a hellmouth.
And
It's Buffy. It's Buffy.
It's
a
the
hellmouth.
fucking hellmouth.
School students?
So that's the hellmouth. So Yohko has to enter the school to save humanity. All right, cool. So she enters. It's like a total, like, right out of a fantasy novel. Like, there's a fucking pentagram. Like, it's the whole 9 yards. Yohko gives her spirited speech about how she holds no ill will against the demons, and she's going to destroy them anyway. And she does her kung fu cha-cha. There's her Wonder Woman spin around. Her clothes explode, which is, that's all they ever do. And she is emblazoned with her new costume, and,
which is
the
pretty
battle.
not durable at all.
None of them are. Yeah. She does have a form blazing sword ability. Gets that straight from Voltron. She forms blazing sword. So her and Reiko,
which is a pretty cool looking sword.
It absolutely is. I hold no at the costume design, the character design, the sword design. I have no beef with any of these things. I think they're all great. No issues. They're fun. And I love what the sword does in the later episodes. Anyway.
Baby axe.
Yeah, baby axe. So this is it's a decisive battle, and Reiko is a vampire now, and she's attacking Yohko, and Yohko is surprisingly not bad in this fight. She's not. You could tell she's an amateur, like, she's fucking things up, but she's at least skilled to a degree, and she manages to pull off a win, and we're all very happy for her. The day is saved.
Like, it was different when, like, say Buffy, right?
Yeah.
Where they, or even I'll even go so far as to say the new Power Rangers movie. You know, once you've unlocked your powers, you become your
next level. Like, you
become next level. So I'm stronger. None of this is really explained, and I could have sworn she was fighting at first in high heels.
Yohko, absolutely. Like, she's in high heels, or at least not high heels, but she's proficient. But she's certainly no Slayer. Like, she didn't suddenly become the biggest, baddest bitch in the room. Like,
she absorbed the powers of the previous Slayers.
Right. None of
that.
Yeah.
She had all that. None of that has happened.
None of that. So I appreciated that, because it's such a trope that the character suddenly becomes this all powerful being, and they're suddenly better than everybody. And it's like, she's still a 15-year-old girl who's dealing with.
Yeah, we have no idea what kind of training her grandmother put her through the entire life. So
yeah, she's gained some proficiency, she'd gained some ability, but she didn't necessarily turn into Wolverine.
Ninja.
Right, the ninja, even better. So anyway, but the decisive victory, she stabs in a very original way. She stabs Reiko through the shoulder, like into
Yeah.
Through the shoulder pad.
It's very good. Like I can't say I've seen a lot of characters die that way. Like that was pretty good. To be fair, she didn't totally die. She had to get completely impaled later, but it was still a creative attack. I appreciated it. The fight scene was actually good. Like there was good energy between the two characters. Kinetic, it moved well. Like I can't fault any of that stuff. I appreciated it. I had a good time with that. So she wins the battle, and hey, turns out Grandma's fine. Had time to go get banners printed. Had time to hang them up. Got party favors. Got all the kids together, just waiting for Yoko to
Cooked
come
some
out the Hellmouth so that they could
Yeah.
get together, have some croquetas, and just chill. And then she throws her friend zone kid at her, like, okay, now you're a hunter. Now you can get laid. It's silly.
I felt like the whole thing for me was like,
Yeah.
I immediately wanted to figure out which one came first, the Blue Girl or Devil Hunter.
That's a good question. I'll let Vic, who gave an inquisitive eyebrow raise, do his fact check while I talk. So so that's basically episode 1 in a nutshell. It's a hornier Buffy. It's a slightly hornier Sailor Moon. It's the horniest episode.
Slightly hornier Sailor Moon?
Yeah, because, I mean, you know, Sailor Moon, she really wanted Tuxedo Mask pretty hard, all right?
So Blue Girl came out in manga form a year before.
Okay. So
I'm going to say somebody plagiarized somebody.
Oh, I agree with you.
Yeah, the anime came out 2 years after.
All right, so it's like midpoint.
Yeah, somebody plagiarized somebody.
So yeah, this is the horniest episode. The principal's horny, the boy's horny, the grandma's horny, the mom's horny, Yoko's horny, everybody's fucking horny. And this is the closest to hentai the show ever gets. Otherwise, it's pretty just ecchi, fan servicey from here on out.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 2 comes out in 1991, a little over a full year later. And boy, somebody suddenly got a budget increase. All right, the animation is significantly better. It's a significant quality jump. And it starts off with a really fun action scene. Go ahead.
Are they implying that she's now 16 or she's still just a 15-year-old? It seems like she's still the same 15-year-old.
It seems like she's still the same 15-year-old. I can't say for certain because they never really bring up her age ever again, except one episode later one episode later on where they talk about how she advanced in high school a year.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the closest I ever saw.
But even then, without knowing dates or anything.
Right. This thing could have taken place over 2 years, 3, I don't know. But anyway, so she's a significant quality jump in overall, and there's a really great action sequence in the beginning. It's really well animated. It's very well done. And it's just sort of setting you up for this is the character you remember from last time. By the way, look how much better our animation got. So near Yoko's home, a local construction crew is doing some work, and they're destroying the forest to clear room for God knows what. And they disturb some sleeping spirits, and the spirits get really angry, and they start harassing the construction workers. It's all not a big deal, sort of side story thing, but the point is that this introduces us to a new character. Yoko gets herself a little Padawan named Azusa, who is all too eager to meet Yoko and become her trainee. She meets a little dog, I don't know, I'm going to go with Pomeranian. Anyway, she meets a cute little dog, and she sees there's disturbances in the forest and all this, and but she's trying to find Yoko. And she meets her, and she's great. You know, I got to give credit to Azusa. She's not that annoying apprentice character that I fully expect in these things.
And she wasn't a total ditz either.
Right. She's younger. Yes, she's a little flighty, but she's polite and, kind and respectful, and she's all these
not
things.
Bratty
she's
at all.
Not, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. She wasn't bratty at all. She was genuinely not a shit character. Credit where credit's due.
But younger.
They immediately undo it. Anyway, younger. She's a younger girl. And so she meets Yoko. She vows or pledges her loyalty to be trained in the ways of the you know what I'm saying. This is the respect the environment episode. This is the respect the environment, respect the spirits episode. And the whole episode is just introducing you to her, Azusa, introducing you to, the dynamic between those two characters. There's some forest spirits that are causing trouble. This is really all there is to this episode. There's really not a lot of meat here. I didn't put a lot of notes down because there really wasn't much to it. The demons attack. They fight the demons. Azusa gets her suit.
Outfit.
Yeah, gets her whole outfit. She gets a cool halberd to fight with. Pretty cool. And they fight the bad guy and they win as a team. And it's really good. It's a good episode. Like, I don't have anything particularly bad to say about this. I was entertained and the characters weren't shit.
It was when the power went out for me and I was like, oh no. When the power went out,
yeah,
I was like, no. She's clearly younger. What are we doing?
Right. Yeah. So, and but I mean, like, that's a cultural difference thing, right? Like, communal bathing, all that shit. Like, that's all this normal for there, not for here. And I give them this: at no point is Azusa sexualized.
No.
She's nude.
Even the transformation is a little.
Yeah,
modest.
even that's tamer. Yeah, she does appear nude, but she's never sexualized. And I mean, if that's the rabbit hole we want to go down, there are other anime with even younger kids who are nude, and it's just completely not sexualized because it's just a normal part of
the original Dragon Ball
Madoka Magica.
culture.
I'm just gonna say that one. Madoka Magica. You got a problem with children?
Right.
Gunslinger Girl, Madoka Magica,
fucking Totoro. In Totoro, they had a communal bathing scene. Like, I mean, so
it's not.
Yeah.
I guess it's the.
Even Sailor Moon did it with Chibi.
I think the biggest problem is that since the first episode was so sexual in nature, the second episode is not at all. But there's still nudity in it. So
it's still the same sexual.
Like, it makes you feel like, oh, hang on. You know what I mean? Like, but the reality is that after the first episode, they basically did away with that part of the genre. Like, from here on out, it's
the transformations.
From here on out, it's just magical girl fantasy anime. With this, they left hentai like in the back.
Do you think they watch Buffy and say, hey, listen, we don't have to do this. We can do Buffy. And just keep it at...
It could very well be what happened. I can't say for sure, but I mean, you never know. There's what's funny about it, right? There was so much stuff that came out around that time that's the same vibe, right? You had the Sailor Moon magical girl stuff. You got the Buffy the Vampire Slayer fighting the demons thing. Like, there's around the culture at that time in the early 90s, there was this movement towards, strong girl defeating evil kind of power dynamic. And it was a big thing. It was a boom.
If anything, you can use that same model as like a spectrum of how bad do you want this to go? Do you want this to be, over here on kids show or way over here?
Yeah, are we going way over here? So yeah, I mean, it's a tricky thing because of the episode right before it, and because we watched them together. If you would remember this, it came out a year later. Like, you'd have had probably a very different idea in your head about what you were watching, and also again, cultural differences. That's the thing that we always have to be conscious of. But again, at no point is she sexualized. Yeah.
Honestly speaking, as you say that, I feel like the adjustment of my thoughts are skewing back toward, okay, you have a point there. I can feel like if this was the discussion about politics, I'd be like, okay, I see what you're saying here. Let me just go back down a little bit more and say,
Right. Yeah. There's no point during these remaining episodes where I was like, oh my God, because it was never Pearl Clutch. It's like, oh my God. Like, it never got to that point again. The first episode had all of that. The first episode was like, oh God, like, ew. But after this, they kind of just stop it. She's a little boy hungry, sure, but she's a teenage girl. Like, it's, and at no point does it escalate beyond her wanting to date the guy or deciding, anyway. So yeah, so episode 2 is fun. Episode 2 is I consider episode 2 like a reintroduction to what the series intends to be. Like episode 1, like Vic said, pilot. This is our pilot. We're gonna try for this. And then episode 2 is like, okay, but this is really what we're doing.
Yeah, because episode 1 also had some weird pacing issues.
Without a doubt.
Happens in the next scene, it's like totally different day, totally different time.
Yeah.
Didn't feel right. Where this one was a short, concise story.
It was a very. It could have been very episodic in nature. This is just episode 3 of a 26 episode arc. It could have absolutely had that vibe. Now, episode 3, which came out a year later, 1993.
Which introduces Ukyo from Samurai Showdown.
So that's the note I wrote, Vic. I said, Yohko dreams of Tachiba no Ukyo, the prince from Samurai Showdown. So the character's name is Bidyu. And it starts off with her fantasizing about this or having a dream about this hunky prince guy. And the only way I could write it was she finds a magic sack that transports her to Bidyu's land. And the first thing I noticed about this land is that's a fuck ton of stairs she has to go up to go meet this prince. Yes. Like, it's just an absurdly large number of stairs. And the old lady got there first. So I'm just, anyway. So
the old lady been trying to stand all her life.
Seriously, I really would have absolutely both regards. Yes.
I'll leave it at the bottom and be like, can you throw a can with a string? I think
just roll them down.
We watched a movie about long stairs, didn't we? Wasn't it? It was a Ghibli movie.
Yeah.
Howl.
Yeah, Howl's Moving Castle. And that was it. And those stairs were nothing compared to the amount of stairs in this. I'm making a very big deal about this, but it's on camera for like 2 seconds, but I saw it and I went, that's a lot of stairs.
When they're little tiny lines, that's when I was like,
This
I don't care how hot you are, I'm staying at the bottom.
Right, seriously. He can FaceTime me. I'll be down here. It was terrible.
If you do this a couple years, they have this thing called Zoom.
It was 93 because they had AOL. Like, I'll see you in a chat room.
Right.
Oh man,
it was more convenient for both of us.
So she makes her way up this fuck ton of stairs, and Bidyu is beckoning to her, and he's calling out to her, and then he's rescuing her from an attack because they're being attacked by a blue wave that turns out to be some kind of demonic praying mantis thing. But I love it because Yohko, like, she meets Bidyu, and Bidyu is like genuinely nice, and she gives this passionate speech about giving up her virginity and how excited she is for it, and like this is big deal, fucking lightning bolts behind her, and like this is the moment, kind of that shit had me rolling. And then
she's like, she's gonna spider monkey him. She's gonna spider monkey him.
Seriously. So they get attacked. And Yohko shows herself to be a very capable fighter. She even has like a Hadoken. She does a Hadoken in this one.
Yes.
It's very clearly a Hadoken. And she manages to dispatch this little demon. I'm going to call it a minor demon. And then she's sent on a quest to go rescue the prince because the prince got taken. You get like,
and she's like, I'm gonna do this shit.
She's like, I am so hitting that. She's dedicated to making this happen. So she goes on her little mini adventure. She finds the bog of eternal stench, and she ends up having to fight. That's what it is. And then she ends up having to fight this monster. And I loved it because it gives me immediate expectation subversion. She starts giving her speech, her pre-transformation speech.
Yeah.
The demon's I ain't got fucking time for that.
She actually says it.
Yeah,
I still got like 3 more lines.
She tells him, be patient.
Yeah, that was great. I loved it. I was there for it. I'm like, you got your own trope. I'm very proud of you. Expectation subversion for the win. And they use other animation tricks. Like, so they reused animation cycles for the demon throwing the cyclical weapon thing. And they use it as a plot device. They use it as her being able to see that his patterns repeat, and that if she attacks him a specific way, she can, defeat him. Again, something that ordinarily annoys me about animation, and they used it in a way that turned it into.
They gave it a
plot
reason.
device. Yeah, I appreciated that. I really did. Yeah. So, and she uses the baby axe.
I
She uses
will give
baby
it.
axe.
Yeah.
I'm holding off on the things that really piss me off.
That's
But
fine.
I will say that the fighting of this is really
Yeah.
well done.
I very much enjoyed the fighting of this. I did. I thought the fight scenes were, for the most part, well choreographed, well plot out, well storyboarded. It was good. And yeah, she uses baby axe and she's able to defeat the sword. For the listeners, the hilt of the sword splits off, and there's a blade that like looks like an axe. That's this part of the pommel, and she uses it to slice it. It's great. It's really cool.
Chop chop.
Like, no combat tang, whatever.
Right. Without a doubt. So yeah, so now she's freed the prince. Wait, no, that's not the prince. What the hell is
Yeah.
this shit? So all of a
She makes
sudden,
that face like, what the?
yeah, like the fuck. So there's this princess who's now free. Yanagi is free, and Yoko's like, what the fuck is going on? She even turns to the old lady. She's like, yo, old bat, like what the hell? This is not what you said was gonna happen. And at this point, a bat demon is unleashed. And this bat demon, I have notes about because I find it very funny. This is a bat demon for about 6 seconds.
Yep.
The bat demon becomes a harpy. So and then Yoko's able to see its weakness. And then
which something she's never been able to do before.
Never been able to do. It's a new thing. It's a new, and I want to say it's probably because of where she's at, because she hasn't ever really used that as an ability later. So this bat demon turns into a harpy. She sees it's got like a pearl behind its tit, and she decides I'm gonna stab that. And then bat demon harpy is now a griffin, changes into a griffin, and starts using like flame attacks and shit. It's okay because Yoko does manage to defeat bat demon harpy griffin, but is interrupted by Azusa and Chi, who have transdimensionally traveled to assist Yoko because they're worried about her friendship.
With a piece of hair.
With a hair and a
dimensional GPS.
A hair and a Necronomicon, and they were able to find get
a hair that was lost during the recent.
Had to be a hair that was lost during her getting transported here, which is
hair that was on the ground because she has a lot of hair
in her carpeted room with her 8 feet of hair. This is the hair they found to get her there.
That's the one you found on the first time.
So what happens if they found the wrong hair?
I do. Yeah, who knows? It's like, why were we transported to the locker room? This is weird. So no. Anyway, so yeah, so Yoko defeats Bat Demon Harpy Griffin and is interrupted, and then she like gets the sphere that's supposed to be stabbed, and it grows a fucking eyeball, and she flips the fuck out appropriately, like any Muggle would do the moment they have to deal with something like that. And then Bat Demon Harpy Griffin is restored, like reforms around the eyeball thing. But now it's a dragon.
Bat Demon Harpy Griffin Dragon.
Bat Demon Harpy Griffin Dragon. That's what we got now. Azusa and Yoko engage with Bat Demon Harpy Griffin Dragon, and Yoko's having some trouble, but she uses Chun-Li's spinning bird kick to gain the upper hand, which is a fucking 1000%. It's 100% what she did.
Yeah. I was like, oh, it's Chun-Li. What happened? You always see movement like that, and it's...
Yep, it was absolutely, and considering the year this came out in '93, like that's 1000% what they were doing.
Oh, for sure,
doing a straight up homage to Street
Fighter. To lean over and do the magic kick.
I don't think the homage is, well, by that time Street Fighter would have blown up immensely.
Yeah. Street Fighter 2 was 92, so Street Fighter 2 by 93, Street Fighter 2 was fucking a religion.
Yeah. So they watch this. Come over here. You don't like this great. One part.
That shit was fucking funny. So she did Hadouken earlier in this episode and the spinning bird kick in this episode. This was the Street Fighter episode. So she defeats Bat Demon Harpy Griffin Dragon and unleashes her hair in the process because the energy she uses to expel is apparently focused through her little hairband things, and they shatter. It's a plot point that isn't important.
You know how not important it is? She's going to get the damn things right back.
They make her new ones, like within the minute. So
yeah, here you go.
It was a please don't sue us for catfishing you. So
we find out at this very moment that she has been catfished, and that the old lady was pretending to be BDU to convince Yoko to come free both Biryu and the Princess Yanagi.
And his
because
girlfriend.
because they're destined lovers. So Yoko got catfished hard. She was not, and the old lady's like, take it out on me. It's my fault. They had nothing to do with it.
They've been stuck for 1,000 years. So
they couldn't talk to you if they wanted to. It was on me. My bad.
No
was
hard
terrible.
feelings, right?
Right. And as an apology for the catfishing, they make her new hairbands.
basically, she did this whole thing for free. Nothing.
Nothing. She gained nothing. She did
Not
good
even a
deed.
threesome. They didn't even.
I mean,
they,
yeah, they didn't even offer. Like, they didn't even offer. So she got out of it. I mean, she got, goodwill. She saved 2 people who were in prison for thousands of years. So good for her on that regard. But yes, she gained her entire reason for going to get some. That was completely
Gone.
negated. It's at this point that they made a decision as a company that I question. Don't know why they chose to do it right at this point. But episode 4 came out like a couple months after episode 3. So it was still 93. It was like December of 93. And all episode 4 is MTV. It's
Okay. I stopped watching it, went out of Plex, came back in, and was like, maybe I'm not watching the right thing. And like, I started.
Nope, you were watching the right thing.
Yeah. Episode 4 is Forever, a music episode collection set to art and animation from the series. And it's very nice, but it felt a little premature. It's like the kind of thing you release when you're done with a series and you're like, here's how much fun we had. Here, listen to all this great music we did or whatever, And I even wrote notes about this. So track 1's great because it uses a lot of key art and a lot of like original, like, the concept sketches and things like that. So it's that one visually, I was like, this is cool. And then track 3 is all original animation. It's a cute little chibi version of Yoko, and she's like, this is an adorable little jazzy number that then breaks into like full blown rock mode thing, and none of it makes sense. It's a music video. It's not supposed to make sense. And that's it. Those are the only 2 things worth noting, really, in the entire episode, because there are 2 tracks that are basically just music videos. It's just the original singer. It's a music video.
Live
There's 2 of those.
action. It was
Yeah.
a live action. I was
They
like,
did. It was a live action, just like, here's the singer. And then the last like 2 were AMVs. They're the equivalent of AMVs. They were like if fans of Yoko got together and made a music video for a contest at a Comic-Con, and that's what the last 2 are. It's fine. It's just, it was weird. It was sort of, like I said, it felt like it was premature. Like, this is the kind of thing they release. Here's
Like,
an
and
8.
disc at the end.
Yeah, there
Now,
you go.
mind
That's what I'm
you,
looking for.
3 years with this property have gone by.
It has. You are not wrong. It has. But it still felt like, I don't know, it just felt like premature.
I will go so far to say it was so premature, I didn't even watch it.
And you're fine for it. You lost nothing. You lost nothing by not watching it.
Now,
I skipped through after the
Yeah.
chibi part and it went to live action. I was
You're
like,
fine.
maybe there's something more at the end, and there was
Jack shit.
nothing.
Nothing. There's nothing there. It's not worth it. You don't have to watch it. The music's not even that good. Like, it's just not worth any of that.
It's not like it's burnout syndrome.
This is not. Yeah. This is not that. This is not Lin Min Mei. This is nothing. There's nothing about this that you're just going, man, that was a banger. I got to go back and listen to that again.
at least on the plus side, and within those 3 years, there were 3 games released as well, so that'll keep the fan base a little busy.
Without a doubt. Episode 4 is useless. It's music videos. It's not even worth your time.
If you just see background noise,
yeah.
and if not, then just keep on going.
And not even like great background noise. If you just mediocre background noise, this is for you. So episode 5 came out in 1994. Episode 5 was titled Hell on Earth. So by this point, it's been a few years for the girl. I mean, 93 to 94 is like almost a year later. No, I lie. It came out in like July of 94. So this came out just like 6 months after Forever. And the plot of this one is, I don't know, it's probably my favorite of all of them, the episodes.
What happened, they probably got pissed off when they released Devil Hunter 4 and they said, hey, yeah, we're giving music vehicles. We didn't pay for this shit.
Right.
Because they had to pay for this OV for this episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like we're giving you this promotion or it's part of a cereal box.
Yeah,
No,
we
no,
didn't
you had to
hire
pay.
all you guys to animate a fucking music video. Come on. So they So yeah, so you get episode 5, Hell on Earth. This came out in 94, and the whole premise is that there's an overreaching demon lord named Tokima. And Tokima starts off by possessing a pervy boss in the dark and killing the guy he was perving, or girl he was perving on, insisting on hunting demons. So Grandma has all the important information as she tries to give an info dump, but Yoko's running late. Yoko ain't got time for that shit. So,
Yoko has no time. Like, everything she said, this episode could have been so fucking short.
Oh, it could have been. It could absolutely have been. Yes.
Could have been so. Yeah. Not only that.
Yeah.
I'm going to invite them into the Batcave.
Right? Seriously. So, yeah. You're not wrong. So Yoko bumps into a new guy at school, Asakura, and she's, of course, immediately smitten because Yoko is shallow. God love her. She's a teenage girl. Tokima sees that Asakura is of interest to Yoko and proceeds to possess the boy. The info dump, as we get from Grandma later, reveals that Tokima is a space-time demon. And he's able to manipulate these things, which is why clocks shatter whenever he's like doing his bad business stuff. And Haruka, the first hunter ever of the Mono family, was the one to defeat him. So he has to, this is the plot device here, he has to break into their headquarters and destroy a magical seal. And is the only way that he'll regain full power. So Grandma and Azusa, they put up all these talismans all over. They're going to protect the seal, so it doesn't get in trouble. Broken.
Which works.
It, without a doubt, it fucking works. Until. So
It's always until.
Right. So Yoko brings home Asakura, who is currently possessed by Tokima, and it's
3 o'clock in the morning.
So at first it's so they can study, and it's a funny little scene where the mom and the grandma they're all like eavesdropping, and it keeps, it's a cute little whatever. But then he's like, Yoko, I really want to talk to you. Can we meet up later tonight in private? And Yoko's like, oh. So
yeah,
absolutely sneaks him into the house in the middle of the fucking night. And of all the private places she could have taken him to the backyard, could have taken him to her room, could have taken him anywhere. No, I'm gonna take him to the Batcave. So she takes him down to the Batcave because it's exactly where he fucking wanted to be.
Which is not it's not a difficult Batcave to find.
It's not, but like the fucking mom doesn't know it's there. You know what I mean? Like, it's like
Fair enough.
Anyway, so the
computer down. I'm like,
right.
I mean, fucking kidding me.
Sneak into the headquarters for some alone time, where he immediately goes for the seal. He like leans in like he's gonna he looks to the left, like, oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
just like walking over to it like no big deal. Grandma Azusa interrupt, and they and Yoko face Tokima, who at this point is,
this is where she gets pissed off,
emerges from the shadows, and she does. She gets angry, and they're like, never seen her so angry before. Yeah. Tokima force pushes Grandma, and I wrote this down because I thought it was a neat way to show that the seals work. It's like he like force pushes her, kind of like, and she like goes flying towards the seal, and all the damage stops at the talisman. Like the whole place is getting shredded, but past the talisman, everything's fine. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I appreciate that they threw that little thing in there.
Just little tiny effect was just.
Yeah, it's just a little thing. You're like, that's cool. So the damage being done inside or past the talismans is from Grandma being thrown and not from anything he can actually do. He can't affect anything inside that space. And I was like, that's cool. Anyway, he suddenly gets a headache and dips. It's not particularly explained. He kind of just does. Like he's just like, and then he leaves. And suddenly
the part is that he got wounded somehow.
Yeah.
Because from Yoko. And
right.
Yoko Grandma is telling stab him now.
Right. She tells him to take the eye. Like, you gotta take the other eye. And
he's like, oh shit, I gotta go. And then
I gotta go. Sorry.
And apparently Vic just said it that he could only manifest himself for a period of time.
Time being a bitch. And that is the power
that is sealed. Is all about time.
The power. This episode is all about that. The time is sealed. He can't access that power right now because it's sealed. And they do tell you that. So again, I give them credit for not flubbing that story beat. It's an important bit. He can't use the time powers yet because he doesn't have access to them. So he dips, but he ends up leaving Grandma young in the battle. So Grandma is now a young warrior girl again, and with the inhibitions of an elderly woman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many elderly women you know, but I know a few, and they don't have inhibitions anymore. After a certain age, they just stop having those, and she ain't got them. And she gets called out for it, and that shit's pretty funny.
Man, I'm so conflicted.
Go ahead.
They gave Grandma a banging body.
They did. You're not right. She knew it too. She's like, look at these things. Like she was perfectly happy. Yeah, she was perfectly happy.
Standing in the backyard, topless.
Yeah, that's it. Just dry rubbing herself with a towel because it's the best thing for her skin. Anyway, while cleaning up headquarters, Azusa is controlled by Tokima, and she steals the clock seal that was, previously protected by the talismans.
Which shouldn't have happened.
Shouldn't have happened, right? Because his power shouldn't be able to extend past the seal. She shouldn't have been able to do it, but she did. She managed to steal it. But that's not the biggest crime this series does with plot. There's more.
It's like, but wait,
Anyway.
there's more.
So anyway, she steals the talisman, the clock seal thing. It looks like one of those little desktop grandfather clocks. And Grandma and Yohko, they intervene, but they have to fight controlled Azusa. Azusa is under Tokima's control, and she's able to put up quite the fight. So they have a good little battle, but Yohko punches the fuck out of her and wakes her up. And I'm like, yeah, that's about what I'd try.
So
But damn, does Yohko get impaled hard.
Yes.
And we're not even talking about tentacle porn now.
No, this is straight holy shit, she dead. And she was dead, and I appreciate that. They kept her dead for a minute because she was actually dead.
Yes.
So
they Optimus primed her. They did Optimus Gray on her. Did you see that?
They did. Yes, they really did.
When she landed, I was like, oh no.
That's
I know that shit of rigor mortis. That's not.
Oh man. So in the scuffle, the clock is destroyed and Tokima's full power is freed. And he's able to open this massive vortex portal thing. And
what you're looking for is space-time disturbance.
Thank you so much. Space-time disturbance. Through which Yoko's body is sucked up into. We then cut to the past. And in the past, Haruka is battling Tokima, which is I appreciated this. They're having it's a pretty epic fight, and they show him using his time ability to freeze her. But then her sword and abilities free her up from the freeze so she can still fight. Mm-hmm. So showing you that the Devil Hunters have an ability to, because of their weaponry or whatever, that they have an ability to subvert the time. Stop. Yeah. So she wins enough, and he takes off because he gets another headache. And then Yoko's corpse portals in, and Haruka's like, "Oh wow, that bitch is dead."
Yes.
Right.
It's like that is a very dead girl. So she uses the power of her ring, the same ring that Yohko has in her time.
Exact same ring, because it's her ring.
Yeah, it's her ring. To revive Yohko. So she revives Yohko using this power. And I'm kind of like, come on. What the fuck? Neat trick. Convenient. They're able to heal and revive Yohko, including her clothes, which I was like, this is the one time the clothes get fixed? What is that? And so immediately I'm like, fuck you. And then I'm like, oh, okay. They explain it just a minute later. She was able to cheat death because she didn't cheat death. They turned back time. Because the ring it has his time power in it.
It's a time stone.
It's a time stone.
Essentially.
So she was able to turn back time, hence why everything's back to normal. She's just like, I'm gonna fix you.
So this is the Doctor Strange crossover.
This is the Doctor Strange crossover.
From the Eye of Agamotto, in an MCU.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
So while this is happening, she's meeting her ancestor, and they're all very nice and cordial with each other. Like,
Meanwhile,
meanwhile, Grandma and Azusa decide to take on Tokima by themselves, and they're getting their ass spanked.
kicked, curb stomped, all
It's-
of the
Yeah.
words of brutality, because
It's not
this
pretty.
one actually came around the same time as Killer Instincts. He's
Brian, you're not wrong. So
they did the Street Fighter one. Now we're
That's
doing
it.
Killer
Now it's- yeah.
Instinct.
So they explain the ring's power and that it's a time reversal stone, and then the two Haruka and Yoko, they like fusion with their rings to create a portal to get themselves back to the future. The hunters, they have to two full
Fight.
power hunters face Tokima, and it's
Right.
cool. It's an excellent little battle. Goes well. And then Tokima gets all butthurt and decides to split into, I want to say, roughly 108 versions of himself, give or take.
Yeah,
Can't be certain.
Yeah,
Just picking a number.
107. We're just
107.
throwing a number out there.
Throwing a number out there for no reason whatsoever. So splits herself up into 107 different versions, to which point you would think, holy shit. And
Now they were like, we got this.
yeah, they got
they went,
this,
hold
and-
my beer. And
Yeah,
just,
they did. They're tight. And God damn it, if I didn't actually really like that part. Like they used this time stone to summon all 108 hunters all at once.
Endgamed it.
They endgamed it. They fucking endgamed it, and they summoned all 108 hunters to converge on Tokima and his doubles. And I fucking loved that. I don't know why. I was like, God damn it, that's fucking cool.
You
So-
see, there's so many colors of hair.
Colors and hairstyles.
They ran out of Pantones. They
Right.
just ran out of Pantones. They took the whole book and they went to the cell coloring team and they're like, what colors do you want? They just threw the book.
like all of it.
we need 106 people. You need
we-
to draw
I was waiting
All
to see.
these swatches.
I was waiting to see the Wakanda one from Wakanda.
Oh, fuck. So
You
yeah,
remember
so they
this
do
one?
it.
I was like, you have the one from Wakanda when she was also one of the generations was a foreign exchange student in Scotland. I was waiting for Highlander to come out. I
Right,
mean,
like just all of them. So they summon all of these, and then each one takes on one of the Tokima doubles. And I even dug this. For each defeat, it's a scar on Tokima Prime. And I was like, fuck, I actually really like this. This is cool. And Yoko, she finishes a job she started and she gets his second eye. And it's great. The day is saved. And I was into it. I very much enjoyed this episode. I thought that was a fun action sequence. I thought it was fun the way they played with again, maybe not how I would have used a time stone, but it was still cool to me. So Yoko wants to retire and then basically finds out that Red Ghidorah is attacking and she has to go. She's never done. She's never done. Hero's job is never over.
all right, the demon's name is Kuma,
Kuma. It's Kuma, but looks like Red Ghidorah with two heads.
but doesn't Kuma? I know I'm
Kuma's-
not the most translation
Yeah.
savvy, but Kuma means bear. Am I
I
right?
do believe it means
I think
bear.
so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had no bear qualities.
I feel like maybe it's just his personality. Maybe he's just really temperamental for a two-headed dragon.
It's a metaphor. You woke him up before he finished hibernation, so he
It-
came out.
There
That's
we
what
go.
it is.
I mean, he could have been a teddy bear.
This ends on a hero card. This ends on the hero's work is never done. Transformation, let's
Mhm.
go. Flash to the end credits kind of thing. This felt like an ending. This is where
Should have been in.
I would have thrown in the music video. This is where I would have been like, here's your music video episode. We finished Devil Hunter Yohko. The story's over. But no, we're not done.
No, we're not done.
So
But wait, there's more.
a full
Just
year
one more.
later, we get episode 6, Double Jeopardy. Now here's
So
the
this is
part that
1995.
this is 1995. This comes out, and for some
Can we-
reason, the title card reads Devil Hunter Yohko 2. I don't know why,
Huh?
but it's not like a translation error. I can read the number 2. So Devil Hunter Yohko kanji, little number 2. I'm like,
That
okay.
little number is what gives it. It's squared.
I got what they did there, but at the same time, I was like, come on.
At first
So-
glance, yeah.
The animation is more kinetic. The visual style has changed dramatically for this episode. I want to say it looks and feels like the Tenchi team. Like that's like you just kind of
Mhm.
felt like that to me. It's fine. It's not like I don't like that style of animation. It was just a jarring change from the last 3 of these that I'd watched. And it's an Evil Twin episode. I'm not gonna bury the lead. It's an Evil Twin episode. This is Nega Duck to Darkwing Duck. This is Negative Flash. That's what this. Yeah, this is.
Mustache
Thank you.
Spock.
This is Spock with the goatee. That's what this is. This is the Evil Twin episode. I just don't. And I've got more. I'm not even done. All right, so
Is it the
It's-
Bizarro episode?
I want to say Bizarro, but anyway, the 2 girls. There's 2 girls training in the shadows, and they're told at the very end of their training that they can replace the Devil Hunter, and you're like, oh, it's an Evil Twin episode. Ooh, this
Yep.
episode sucks.
Yes.
Sorry, I feel like it does. In my opinion, nothing happens. Nothing.
Yeah, well, the animation
Happens.
wasn't bad at all. It's just
Like nothing happens. She spends
especially with how the 5th
She
episode
spends-
was.
3/4 of this anime chasing after boys. It's for the evil Yohko to take the boy, and then you're like, what the fuck should she do that for? Like this, like what is that? What does it have to do with her end goal?
Like, seriously, you taking the boy is more
It's not.
slutty than Devil Hunter.
Yeah, like you're not proving yourself to be a better Devil Hunter by taking her men. I don't like it. Just didn't. It didn't make sense to me. So that's why I was
got
just like, I'm very much
confused.
out on this. I was not into it. I liked the animation. I didn't hate the animation. I was like, this is where we're ending this. This is the story that finishes it. I was like, the last one was great. You know what this was? This was Scrubs season 9. That's what this was.
It's something that did not need to happen. It
Yeah.
ended perfectly the way it did before, and
Yeah.
someone
It-
wanted to carry it on.
It ended great, and someone's like, hey, but what if we did one more?
Oh,
So
wow,
then
wow,
we
wow,
got
wow, wow,
this.
wow.
So anyway, it's Yoko's lamenting love lost. She runs into some ridiculously haired student who is a student teacher. And when I say ridiculously haired, I cannot emphasize how absurd this hairstyle is. For anime, this is an absurd hairstyle. This is
When she
really
walked
something.
out, I was like,
It's like, don't mess with the Zohan level
is.
of absurdity.
it's so much. I was like,
just
how much gel
Wow.
and pomade and hairspray did you use? 'Cause it
Just
didn't
to make
So-
a man.
I just can't.
Yeah,
man.
do one bang.
So Nega Yohko and Nega Azusa, they plot to take.
Oh, we didn't
this-
tell him. We buried
Yeah.
the lead on it. We have the 2 characters.
That's right, with
But
the 2
Yoko,
characters.
but
Yeah.
Yoko's by herself because Asuka said, you know what, fuck it, I'm out.
Bro, I have a note on that. I'm like, where's regular Azusa? Like Nega Azusa's here, and regular Azusa's never here. Like she's just gone.
'Cause
Like,
They actually answered it. She went to go visit her parents.
right, but like, what the?
Well, what?
I am.
Here's the thing. They explain, essentially with evil Yoko, being
Yeah,
a cousin technically.
right. And I
Even
love that
those
they
names don't work that much, but Azusa,
I fucking love that they hand waved it away. The grandmother just hand waves it away. She's like, but Azusa's not related to us. How does I explain that? She's like, oh, it's just it's a coincidence. I'm sure it's a coincidence. They just like
Is it
hand
not?
wave it away.
Pay no attention to the man behind
Yeah.
the curtain.
Right.
And they
We
even
needed
go so far as
a
to say,
Nega
we'll call her Asuka number 2.
We'll call her Azusa. And that's how she fucking introduces herself later. Yeah. God damn, it was a stupid move.
Look, they weren't trying on this one.
They were
No.
not. They were not.
which
It's-
just sucks because it's the same writer from the 5th one.
dude, how do you.
He was
how?
pissed off.
Tired.
Same writer, but different
Yeah.
director.
No, he was pissed
probably
off on that
mad.
one.
That's what it was,
Yeah.
yeah.
I give you my magnum opus and you fuck me like this?
Like,
Asuka
it's-
number 2.
As good as you could possibly have taken Devil Hunter Yohko. I'm not saying Devil Hunter Yohko is high art. But as good as you could have done with it, you did. You succeeded. I was into it. Like, I had a fun time with episode 5. Like, it was.
I think what it was is the artists blew their load on that one, and then they said, "Come on, you got to do it again." And they're like, "No, I'm tired. I want to go to bed."
I was just so out on this. I really was. It's just so Nega Yoko is wrecking Yoko's reputation is the best I can come up with, because I didn't at this point. I have no motivation. Yeah, she's just like, why are you chasing her men? I don't understand.
It could be twins.
Yeah, without a doubt, they are literally cousins. They're related, and I'm pretty sure it's how family
Are they
trees work.
twin sisters?
The grandparents are,
grandmothers.
yes.
The grandmothers are twin sisters.
Right.
So then, anyway,
Genetics don't work that way.
totally works that way. Absolutely works that way. So the
Look,
Nega Yoko reveals her name as
He did not care. He's like,
Ayako.
you know what? You guys are idiots. He took it out on everybody.
Seriously, I
did.
think,
It's almost as if somebody.
Lynette nailed it.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
he did.
I said Lynette
blew
nailed
his
it.
load,
She was
and then
just
he
like,
rolled over and went to
fuck
bed.
you. I'm gonna write this anyway. You want me to write more? Fine. I was flabbergasted at how this series was bookended by mediocrity.
Yes.
It starts out kind of like, it is what it is. And then I got into it and I enjoyed it because it subverted expectations and had interesting characters, and it gave a very MCU-esque like 5th episode crescendo. It was, and then you get bookended with the evil twin episode. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Your worst enemy is yourself.
Like, Ayako introduces herself as Ayako, and
He's not even fucking trying.
she's like at all.
Like, it could have been A-ko and B-ko and C-ko.
It really could have. And there are genuine moments of visually that I liked about this episode. The animation style was a shift that maybe I wasn't fully into, but it wasn't bad. It was just not as good.
Demon's power set was actually pretty interesting as well.
Agreed. Absolutely. I very much agree with that. I liked some of the animation beats. There's a bit where Yoko's in the tub and she's kind of playing with her hair. It's really well done. Like, I liked that kind of like, there's stuff in here that's good. It's just not the story part.
Nope.
So anyway,
and there is the part right there.
Yeah.
That's the part that has been plaguing me this entire time. It's a story.
The whole goal is to get the job of Devil Hunter. Not to just be a Devil Hunter, but to get the job of being
the job title.
The title. So this isn't like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where we had Eliza Dushku playing yet another hunter. This is, she wants to take the job.
She wants to be the hunter.
That's
the only hunter.
Right.
She wants to be 108.
That's the goal. She wants 108. That's the title. So Sano gets knocked out and his face plants on a fucking rock, which is the best thing they could have done with that character. And apparently it wakes up a demon, because why not?
Just luck.
So it was like, damn, he
the
face
blood
planted
of
hard.
stone.
Like hard, like it was hard. Like there was a considerable amount of blood.
Mm-hmm.
He
Right.
really hit that rock.
He didn't get back up.
Somebody would, oh,
No. The dude is, we could safely say he's dead, right?
Right.
He's very dead. So yeah, the demon wakes up because he got very much woken up. Somebody knocked really fucking hard on his rock and he woke up. So now it's this new demon is great. He's got paralysis abilities, which are kind of cool, and I like the way they do it.
Mhm.
And when he paralyzes them, you're naked.
Yeah, because it's like, I want to say it's like your spirit or your aura being frozen, because it always changes color palette too. It's not like you're just suddenly naked. It's like you're like a hologram of yourself. So anyway, so you can be paralyzed by this hunter guy, this demon. So the hunters have to work together to fight this evil. The only thing I can say is that with the power of friendship, they defeat the demon.
Care Bear
Best I can
stare.
come up with. Care Bear stare, that shit. Afterwards, the grandmothers are arguing like fucking toddlers, and the Yokos are now best friends, apparently. And nobody wonders if Azusa 1 is okay, because they have Azusa 2. So they don't need Azusa 1. We haven't seen her. She's fine. It's gonna be fine. She's not gonna question this at all when she comes back. It's gonna be great. It's the Scrubs season 9. That's the note I wrote in this. I'm sticking to it. It didn't need to exist. Tonally and artistically flubbed the landing. Yeah, I guess we gotta start wrapping up on this. The anime became very popular. It spawned obviously all these sequels every year or so, and after the tail end of this, they created a manga series, and the manga series, it ran for I think a year or so. So it
About
did
a
all
year.
right. It's not like this was a universally hated anime. This isn't Butt Attack Punisher Girl. Like this is like a lot of people know Yoko and a lot of people like Yoko, and it's So should we start final thought in this shit? What do you guys
Absolutely.
think? I think Brian wants to go first. I don't know why. It's just you got that look about you, like you're ready to talk about this.
Yeah, fuck you, fuck y'all, fuck y'all. I'm not talking about the panel in general.
Right.
I'm just talking about the people because if you're a satire, say you're a satire,
Right.
but
Mhm.
it's not a satire.
Yeah.
Everything that happens doesn't even matter by the end of the episode. Whatever the episode you're watching doesn't even matter. Doesn't.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're really
Like-
not. The only one that had any substantial weight to it was 5. Like everything else was.
But even let's go so far and say, even the friend zone guy from episode 1, even he gets thrown at Yoko. So what's the point of even friend zone him when your grandmother going to knock his bones now? Nothing pisses me off more than dropping an anime, just dropping it.
Yeah.
That we've well established that's something that pisses me off.
Sure.
But don't make me invest my time just to say, it really doesn't matter.
Her being incapable of giving away her virtue was sort of a running gag. Like that was kind of the
Yes.
point. Like she couldn't land a guy. Delay.
But it's not the gag part. It's literally almost everything that happened as a result of Yoko's direct involvement
or uninvolvement.
or uninvolvement.
Right.
Like even down to Eiko and Yoko fighting, right?
Yeah.
What
Right.
happened at the end of that? A demon gets released.
Yeah.
You motherfuckers could have said, you know what, maybe we should stop fighting because that shit over there looks weird. No.
Yeah.
So it pisses me off. It pisses me off. I was way more pissed than before we started talking about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a spectrum of redemption.
Yeah.
And go to hell. You guys kept on telling me stuff that would bring me right back over, but never enough to
Not to
fully
win you over
redeem it.
completely.
Yeah, not to win me over completely. It just
Right.
brought it up to this point and said, well, okay, I guess I can't go in on it too much. But nothing was said that said, what, it explains her.
Right. Yeah. No,
Incompetence.
she's an incompetent teenage girl, without a doubt. And she remains true to that the entire series.
Hell, even fucking Ramna gets growth at the end of his series. He had over
absolutely.
100 episodes to get it. But
Fair. Yeah.
I will argue to say the same amount of time happened though. Would you agree?
Did it feel like it?
No, I mean
I-
6 years of Rama, however long it took for the episodes to run, say 6 years.
Hey, to be fair, by the end of Ranma, I'm pretty sure he's still in high school. So
I never watched this one, but this was ever on my list because you would see it next to something else that you were watching.
absolutely. Yep.
And you'd be like, oh my God, I can't wait to watch this. I know, man, that story looks fire.
ADV went in hard on this because it was their first title. They wanted to make a big splash. So they pushed hard, and they did push hard. It was everywhere that there was anime. Yoko was there. Like it was always on the shelf. And it's black clamshell right next to something from US renditions. Like it was there.
And when you As we're listening to all the things that they either pulled from or making satire, is this going to be a satire from the minds of the police squads? You know what I'm saying? Making a, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I wish they would. Hell, we even know that Aiko was a fucking satire.
Without a doubt. Yeah.
They could have did the
embrace
same
that.
thing.
It was, yeah. They were very upfront. They were very successful at that. Probably the best satire anime ever made. Yeah, I hear you. So now, do you feel like modern viewers should pick this up?
No, it's done more successful. There've been more successful renditions of this one. It's been done more erotically better. It everything. There are much better versions of this plagiarized piece of crap.
All right, cool. Okay, Vic, you want to go next, bud?
You gonna make me go next?
Sure, why not?
Okay. I disagree with Brian. Is it the greatest thing of all? Absolutely not. I enjoyed it, but I'm a fan of the IP itself.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, episode 1 felt disjointed. I enjoyed episode 2. Episode 3, meh. We don't discuss 4 because it's a music video.
Right.
Bruno.
5
We don't
and,
talk about Bruno.
We don't
and
talk about
6 was unneeded.
Yeah.
But the IP itself, I enjoyed, and I don't know if it's on Toho or if it's on Madhouse, but you know, over the last 30 years almost since it's released, I wish there was something more. You know, I mean, Brian was like, oh yeah, he copied everyone's homework, but all of his examples were technically released afterwards. So it's like, yeah, they did copy some of the earlier stuff, but let's face it, a lot of the anime in the last 50 years is a copy of someone else. You know, they take good aspects of some, they take trash aspects from others. It happens with almost everything.
Okay.
It's just it's oh god, it's like a ton of other OAVs from the 80s and 90s where you only get a couple of episodes and then you never ever hear from them again.
Well, it's very indicative of that era.
And
the fact that you got 5 or 6 episodes over the course of 5 years.
That in itself,
was-
is a miracle in its own right.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
just it like many others, I feel like it deserved a little bit more. I wouldn't go as far as saying a TV series or anything, but I would say like, you know, maybe 5-10 years later, maybe another episode here, you know, just something.
And
All
can I ask a
You may ask a
retort-
question.
Yeah, how about it?
No, I'm gonna give you a scenario.
All right.
Let's say cop dramas, right? We see cop dramas all the time.
Absolutely.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? You can't plagiarize criminal intent from SVU. You know what I mean?
Okay.
All right. The thing that I'm trying to say I get annoyed with is you say they take the good of one and they bring the bad of other to make something a little bit different, right? They're not doing that here. They're just not even giving the maximum effort in terms of what they're trying to present to us.
Well, the thing is, episode 2 and 5 were pretty good. I believe 2 and 5 were their maximum effort. It's just a matter of who's in charge, who's writing it, who's directing it, and who's paying for it. You know, all those have to line up before the people that animated even do anything. And that goes for just about everything, even with your example of Law and Order. It's like, you know, they could take the same idea here and use it over here and do it from a different aspect. But if the writers are on board to make it good, if the director is a trash job, you know, it can go from either the same, it could be better, or it could be significantly worse. At the time, it had merch. You know, in the 90s, it's not common for many series to end up with multiple games, you know, posters, figures, toys. You know, for an OAV at 6 episodes, and even before, you know, the 3rd episode, there was already a ton of merch.
Her character design is pretty unique enough in the sense of like her silhouette stands out. You know what I mean? And I think that that probably contributed a lot to her popularity. It was like visually, she was a pretty striking character.
Right. So I don't think it's not that people cared. I mean, the Japanese obviously cared enough to give her, 5 episodes in a fan disc. But, worldwide, I mean, we got it. What year did you say DV released it?
92. We got the first one a year after it released in Japan.
Okay, so it's like I recall seeing the first 3 episodes. I don't recall ever seeing 4 anywhere on shelves. I don't recall seeing 4, 5, or 6 anywhere in the US until I got the DVD in the 2000s.
I remember the box art for 5 because I remember seeing it before, but I can't say for sure if it was ever a VHS I picked up.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing it VHS. I recall seeing it in magazines, but I don't recall seeing it in person.
That might have been where I seen it. I mean, it's been for fucking ever. So.
And US tastes versus Japanese tastes for everything. That's why back then we didn't get, it was new to us, so we didn't get a whole lot to begin with. So they were, a little picky. So I wouldn't go as far as saying that no one liked it. It's just, it wasn't an option compared to maybe more popular stuff at the time, because back then, you're paying $30 to $40 a VHS cassette for 1 episode. Yeah. So people had to be picky. And who are buying these VHS cassettes? People that probably couldn't have a job or they're on their first job back then.
Yeah, there weren't a lot of us. We were not in the financial majority back then.
Yeah, I think maybe back then, I bought like 10 VHS cassettes before DVD became a thing. And then once DVD became a thing, I've got tons. But they were more affordable.
So Vic, it sounds to me like you definitely recommend this to a modern audience.
I would say people over the age of 30, absolutely. I think they'll enjoy it. Under, I feel like their tastes will probably be different. People born in the late 90s, they grew up with different stuff. So their tastes would probably be significantly different. But before that, I think they would probably enjoy it.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Lynette, now, you never seen Yohko?
Nope.
So like Brian, this is very new to you in all respects. So how do you feel about it?
I didn't enjoy the last episode. I was confused by episode 4, which is why we don't talk about it. I felt like they did really well with 5, but thankfully, listening, being in this, you guys were able to clarify something, because I was like, this feels really disjointed. Like there's 6 episodes, but not one does like a previously on,
Yeah.
Look what happened before. And knowing that it was like a year between each one, it felt more like they were like little mini movies. So if you took them individually, sure, their plots weren't strong, but it was anime. Most people, and I had the attention span of a tick at that time. So it was like you needed something flashy, you needed something that got people's attention, and demons popping up out of somewhere, a girl's clothes getting blown off, and the transformations going crazy. That would have attracted my attention when it came out. Although in the early 90s, I was in middle school, so I wouldn't have been allowed to watch it.
Clothes were exploding all the fucking time.
All the time, right? Yes.
This is the original.
That's what high school was for us.
This is the original. Clothes were paper mache. Clothes back then were made of paper mache. They just were.
And I'm going to feel old saying this, but all the younger kids now and the teenagers that are buying the pants with the holes in them, the pants with the staples and the paper clips, we had that first out of necessity.
We got that from playing outside, and you are buying it like that.
I put holes there on purpose, or not on purpose, but.
So, Lynette, you're coming at it sort of in and I don't mean to speak for you, but it sounds like you're coming at it with some supportive points towards Brian's position on this, and that it is disjointed and the plots don't necessarily affect each other in any way, which was sort of an overreaching issue that Brian had with it. But at the same time, you're supporting on Vic's position because you did find it entertaining. You were entertained, and
Yes.
and you found it an enjoyable experience. Am I kind of landing on there, right?
Yeah, that's what it is. I also feel like some of the stuff that happens, the events that happen in there, the newer generations kind of wouldn't get it. Like there wouldn't be that, "Oh, ha ha, I see where you're going with that," or although there's the Optimus Gray, "Oh, ha ha," you get like that kind of nostalgic feeling when we see some of those old things pop out. And
Right.
I think the younger generation would just kind of be like, I don't get it. I don't get it." And I feel like if you did that with them, it'd be more along the lines of, "Well, you just had to be there," kind of inside joke. You kind of
I
had to
was
be
fucking
there for
there.
them to really
I gotcha.
understand it. But I would say, like what Vic said, is if you get the older ones, 30 or older, I think they would enjoy it. The younger ones would probably be too scandalized with
Yeah.
the exploding clothes to really get the fact that that was the thing. But yeah, I give it a thumbs up.
All right. It is an interesting piece of anime history. Yoko is iconic. She is a visually striking character, like I said before. She, like Vic said, she's appeared on merch. She's known. I want to say maybe more renowned than known. I think people know her character more than they maybe know her anime. And it probably has to do again just with like visual styling and the fact that it was a Madhouse product too. You can't hide that. I mean, it's can't sleep on that bit. It's sort of a big deal. Madhouse was a big deal. So yeah, I don't disagree with anyone here. Right, the stories are disjointed. The stories don't matter. There's not a single plot that advances an overall story. Brian is
And if
absolutely right in that regard. It really is. There's nothing there that's going to make you go, wow, this is like the next fucking MCU. Like it's nothing attached, nothing's connected. It's all, you can watch any one of these episodes almost in a vacuum. There's tiny little things like this character doesn't get reintroduced every time kind of things. But I think once you've watched the first one, you can watch any of these in any order and you'd probably be fine. And I don't know if that was by design or if that was just the nature of the beast because of the time that it took to make each episode or whatever. And on the same side, I was openly honest about it. I thoroughly enjoyed episode 5. I was into it. I thought it was a magnum opus for the series, and I wish that that's where it would have ended because I thought episode 6 was a steaming pile of shit. If they would have tried to do an episode 6 as episode 4, I probably would have been fine. Because then I would have finished on episode 5 with her embracing her role as the hero kind of thing. And that would have been cool. And I would have been into it. But they didn't. They tacked it in on the end, and that sort of pissed me off. So I'm a little harsher on the bookend episodes. You could probably very easily just read the wiki for episode 1 and then just watch 2, 3, and 5. And you can stop and you'd be fine. I think Yoko is a fun character. She's smart, but she's not supposed to be, right? She's the dumbest girl in the room, not the smartest girl in the room. She just happens to be the chosen one. And I think that's sort of the point.
Yoko embraces that though. She actually embraces the fact that she's not smart. Like when was it Asuko comes in and she starts giving that explanation about where her town is, where the city is.
Right, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's great. I have no idea what you're talking about. Like she gets all excited. Oh yeah, this is great. Then she comes back. She goes, I have no clue. I don't know what you're talking about.
She really is, admittedly, not the sharpest tool in the box.
Mhm.
But again, I think that's intentional. I think she's not supposed to be, and I think they did that to give her more character. And I do agree with all of you guys. I don't necessarily know that this is for a modern audience. This may be one of those anime that kind of exists in its own time capsule and maybe kind of has to stay there. Maybe this is for the nostalgia group. Maybe this is for the mindless midlifers. That is going to do it for our show. So till next time, keep calm. And I don't know, guys, if you're going to be a Devil Hunter, shop Goodwill or something because you will not be keeping that outfit.
You've just been privy to the mindless midlife musings of the anime nerd, presented by Geek Grotto. For show notes and corrections or for general geeky fun, you can visit our website at geek-grotto.com. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast app, please like, follow, and subscribe.